What the weirdest thing you did while you were high? I set a hot pocket in the microwave and put in my PIN number for the cook time. Still cold in the middle. Edit. Wow, I did not expect this to blow up. Thanks for the goodies. One time years ago I was camping at a campground with my wife and a few friends. We were all sitting around the fire drinking. Her brother and I go for a walk to smoke some joints. We finish that and I have to piss, so he goes back to the group. And when I'm done I head back as well. So I get back and I'm pretty baked at this point, and I'm just standing there watching the fire and drinking my beer for a few minutes. I then noticed a particular Coleman lantern on the picnic table and thought to myself, I don't remember us having one of those here. It was at that point that I realized I was standing at the wrong damned campsite, amongst a bunch of people I have never met, while my group was watching from the next site over, laughing and wondering WTF I was doing. The strangers have a much scarier version of this same exact story. Walks away. That guy looked so baked. Edit. Well, slap my ass and call me Sally. A silver. Thanks. Edit. Gold. Well, spank my bottom and call me a bad nanny. Freaked out that I'd lost my iPod somewhere on the way to the train station. I got off the train and went back, retracing my steps all the way back to my apartment, only to realize that I was listening to music the whole time on my iPod. I do that without being high, was hotboxing and used my windshield wipers to try and clear the smoke. I just laughed so hard that my 1-year-old is laughing with me now, too. Got up to leave my bedroom and knocked on the door before opening it to go out. I relate to this calm, polite kind of high. My friend is restless when he's high, so he was standing at the edge of the living room while most of our group was seated. I wanted to sit down too, but I ended up standing behind him because I thought we had to wait in a line to get into the living room, monsieur. I used to go round to friends every week to watch a particular TV show and get stoned. On about the 4th week my friend started going crazy, like he'd had this sudden major epiphany. They've got the same names as us. It had been 4 episodes and neither of us had noticed the 2 main characters had the same names as us. That was proper weird. Edit. So many people trying to guess my name. I'm Rumpelstiltskin, y'all. Beavis and Butthead, Rick and Morty, Ren and Stimpy. Spent 45 minutes looking for my glasses with my friend. Said fuck it BC, I had to leave and was now running late. When I went to put on my sunglasses I smashed them onto my glasses. I had my glasses on my fucking face the whole time and neither myself or my friend noticed. That's on high, monsieur, 100%. I was on acid at a music festival and asked a cop if he would name a hurricane after me. Fortunately he thought that was funny. This one time I was coming up morning of day 2 Coachella and had just gotten to the bank of lockers where our group's stuff was stored. I was reaching for the locker but just couldn't get to it and the key wouldn't go in. My friend walks up to me, grabs the key out of my hand and I swear in one step traverses the distance of a football field and unlocks the door. Turns out the hit had just hit me like a freight train and I was on my hands and knees in the grass, about 6 feet from the locker with my arm outstretched trying to insert the key. Depth perception, man. That was a great day. Ordered food for delivery. Forgot. Went to grocery store for stuff to barbecue. Remembered about the food for delivery while paying in line. Did you buy the stuff anyways? Don't remember. It's been a long time. Or maybe it's only been 20 minutes and you're still waiting for your food. One time I came back inside from a back porch smoke and put my lighter in the sink. My reasoning was, I'll put it in the dishwasher later. For the millionth time, Black David Duchovny, if you're gonna leave it in the sink at least let it soak. It's not that weird, but I get really weird sensations when I am high. Other people probably get it too, but I just don't know how to describe it. But one time I was just rubbing my leg a little because I was cold, and my friend was sitting next to me. So then I was like, well, I can feel my hand and I can feel my leg. I wonder if I can feel hers. So I rubbed her leg and was like, well, I can't feel it, and I didn't really understand why. My friend just laughed at how stupid I was. LMAO. That's happened to me before. I'm not a fan. Eating yogurt with a fork in front of my parents. My dad waited for about 10 minutes to say that a spoon might make it easier. I just imagine a slightly disappointed look on your father's face as he leans against the counter, watching you attempt this and wondering if he should say anything. A few years ago I was on shrooms with some friends and we went on a walk to smoke a cig. Every time I took a puff of my cigarette, I was expecting to taste Mountain Dew and I was disappointed every time that it didn't. I quit smoking cigs a few days after that. Crazy. Mushrooms helped my friend quit smoking too. She was standing there smoking and all of a sudden just held it in front of her face. Went, I am breathing fucking fire. And never smoked again. Psilocybin helps people quit smoking at really high rates. There's been studies on it. Not to make you feel bad, like your story is insignificant or something. Just wanted to make it known to more people. The more people that can quit smoking, the better. Thumbs up. I came home cross-faded one night. Easily the most intoxicated I'd ever been. I walked into the living room and pushed the TV to the back of the table. Instead of the couch, I sat down where the TV used to be and stared at the couch silently, alone, and in the pitch-black darkness for at least 30 seconds before saying out loud, so this is what it's like to be a TV. I realized then I'd had way too much and went to bed before I hurt myself. Empathy is important. Good on you. Did you actually go to bed? Or did your couch just change the channel? Fucking chill, man. That was way too deep. Deep enough to find some change in the couch. Completely freaked out because everyone around me was speaking a foreign language and I couldn't understand anything. Note to self, don't get high in a foreign country. Went to let the dog out and I walked out instead and left my dog inside. Ate a whole bowl of cereal with a fork. Took me like 2 minutes to figure out why TF it was taking so long and why I wasn't getting any milk. There is a guy at the match 2 rows in front of me who eats a pie with a coffee stirrer. Blew on my cereal to cool it down. Hey, you can never be too careful. The very first time I got high, my lovely friend told me, you'll know when you've had enough, so of course I smoked a ton. When I wasn't moving, it felt like time had stopped. I had no idea what was going on. If I moved though, I was completely fine. I ended up dancing to no music by myself as long as I could before I went to sleep. I think I went to sleep anyway. Time wasn't working. I may have just laid there for 8 hours. Greater than when I wasn't moving. It felt like time had stopped. I had no idea what was going on. If I moved though, I was completely fine. Super hot. Super hot. Edit. Thanks for the gold. Kind stranger. I love-hate how time just kinda breaks. Every time I get stoned, I just want to confine myself to the smallest space possible. It's not a fear or anxiety thing. Stoned me genuinely feels more comfortable under a table or bed, or even inside a cardboard box. This one time, are you a cat? If I fits I sits. Got high, ate a bunch of jalapeno poppers. Not that weird. No, the weird part was the calendar appointment I made for myself the next morning that just said HAHAHAHAHA. I apparently predicted the right time for my morning bowel movement. And as those little jalapeno poppers burned again on the way out, he reached out across time and space to laugh at sober me about it. I love when high, drunk selves do stuff like this. Bought fresh fish at the wholesale fish market. When you've been partying all night, until dawn, and you see sober people in action. The fish market is really fascinating. When you wake up the next morning afternoon and thirst lets you open the fridge, and you see ****TLOAD of silver eels. You cannot really relate to that fascination anymore. I stared at ants outside for a solid hour and a half. just going about their business. I'm not too fond of insects sober, but when I'm high they're so goddamn interesting. I did this once with fish. Sat by the side of a river and spaced the fuck out looking at this one fish that was chilling out. Very calming. I did this once while flying on mushrooms, sat on a rock and stared down at tiny fish swimming in a shallow creek, with occasional dragonflies flying a few inches above the water. Reminded me of an overhead shot of a busy highway, the fish being cars and the dragonflies being passing helicopters. Then I noticed a shadow on the ground, zipping past, then another, then another. I looked up and some buzzards were circling overhead at low altitude. I guess thinking I was dead or dying because I was so absorbed by the fish and dragonflies I hadn't moved in 30 minutes. So I stood up and yelled at the buzzards. Not today, motherfuckers. I'm not your lunch. Quote. All in all, a memorable day. I thought that if I became rich, I'd keep all my money in pennies to prevent people from stealing it. Also once tried roasting a hot dog with no stick, just holding the wiener in my hand over an open flame. It did not work. It didn't work cause you didn't try hard enough. I started to get random sensations all over my body. The inside of my left thigh was getting really warm and I had to keep checking every few minutes to see I hadn't pissed myself. I've had this. I got really bad anxiety that I'd pissed my pants being sat on my friend's chair. I went upstairs to the bathroom to check like 4 times just to be sure. Used my phone torch to find my phone in the dark. Did you find it? He's still searching, my dude. His torch died. The phone is charging now. Meanwhile he is looking with matches. I ate mushrooms by myself and some guy dropped off pizza at my house so I signed for it. Only thing is, I didn't order any pizzas. My boyfriend came home and said, "You ordered pizza." It had been sitting on the table for hours. I thought I dreamt it. Whoops. The guy came to the very wrong house. But I did tip him handsomely, so I did the right thing. This should just be a commonplace business idea in Colorado. Take a few extra pizzas around town, knocking on smoky college house doors at closing, getting a decent tip, and they don't even remember they ordered one. I was thinking about how great my friends are and how pretty they are and decided I should talk to myself like that too. So I tried on all these clothes I feel self-conscious in and gave myself a bunch of compliments. This is adorable. Did it help? It really did. Standing by the sink, weeping as I tore into the most juicy and delicious whole ripe mango. In my mind I thought it was some sort of alien creature and it was giving its life in exchange for my pleasure. I thought it was the most beautiful, selfless act anything had ever done for me and was overcome by emotion. I must have looked like a goddamn weirdo, but it was still a beautiful moment. Edit. I remember a roommate coming into the kitchen and asking what was wrong because I was crying and whispering, thank you, to the fruit. For real. Fruits are the best high snack. They're so flavor-filled and refreshing. Edit. Help. I'm high. Send grapes. I was fucked up looking for my hotel in Atlantic City. Somehow got there and woke up the next morning to just hotel being in the search bar of my Spotify. That was my best effort. In no particular order. Asterisk woke up to the remote control for the TV inside of the fridge from the night before. Asterisk let YouTube autoplay for so long that I was eventually watching fire truck drag racing. Asterisk and everyone's favorite asterisk. Asterisk watched hours upon hours of the Yule log TV show with my friends. So much that we knew when a hand was going to come into the scene to move the logs around. Everyone leaves this thread to search for fire truck drag racing. Went to White Castle to get food for everyone after we smoked. We all had the same order. 2 double cheese sliders and an order of mozzarella sticks. When I gave her my order I didn't just say that I wanted 8 double cheese sliders in total. I repeated the 2 double cheese sliders and mozzarella sticks 4 times. By the time I got to the end of my order, the cashier sounded so defeated. I still cringe thinking back to that moment. But it's also one of my funniest smoke stories. Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.